نعم يا أختي. Sister Zulaikha, I didn't get that. Your voice is a bit too low. Can you please repeat that?
Could you elaborate, please, the reward more on the Ibadah that's done if you're married, in fact, if you're not?
Very good. Look, basically, the hadith does say that whoever gets married fulfills what? Half of his deen, his religion. And it continues to say, so fulfill the other part with what? The other half is fulfilled with what? With taqwa. With taqwa. So obviously when a man and a woman are married, there is a lot of reward in it. There is immense reward in that. Why? Who can tell me why? In contrary to a bachelor, not saying he does not get reward, but when a person's married, you can see the immense reward that is incorporated there. Why? One example. No one knows. Have you studied the Islamic marriage, partnership and so forth? You haven't studied this? How a spouse should be to the husband and this and should be to the wife and so forth? You've studied all this? So there's only one example I'm after of why there's so much reward for a married couple. Yes! A lot of responsibility now has been placed on your life, or in your life, in both areas, the husband and the wife. The wife taking care of her husband, even as much or as little as ironing his clothes. She gets reward for that. Or making him a cup of coffee or tea tarik. She gets reward for that. As little as the husband by buying a cup of tea for his wife. He gets reward for that. This is minute issues. Imagine the bigger issues. There's so much reward if it's done correctly between a husband and wife. But when you're a bachelor, you're restricted to yourself. It's restriction. And not only that, when you get married and you have children, the reward even becomes greater. The reward is greater. Because for every single child, you will be rewarded for taking care of that child. There are so many examples of how marriage is extremely important. And there are hadith that explain the importance of young men, young ladies, not 25, 26, 27, or 30, and say, now I'm ready for marriage. Marriage initiates when a person reaches maturity. Maturity. And in our time, for example, we are in desperate need to marry our children, young. 16, 17, 18. Marry them off, because you may allow destruction to befall them. Just yesterday I got a call from a sister, a Malaysian sister, and her father, she wants to get married. She's 28 years old. And I said to her, why aren't you married then? She goes, my father does not allow me until I finish my PhD. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. What gives this father this right? He's not allowed, it's haram. The right of marriage is not up to the mother or father, it's up to the child. When he or she needs marriage, the parents has to assist, not prevent. They are not allowed to prevent. The parents do not own the children. They have taken them as a trust and a responsibility. So what's this degree finishing? Or when they finish their BA or their Masters or PhD or their schooling? Why can they not get married, even though they're doing all this? It's haram to try to prevent your responsibility, your flock, whether a boy or a girl, for marriage. When you see your child, it could be 16, both male or female, 17. If you see that they have that inclination to that area, then you should be extremely prompt in marrying him or her off. Assisting them, not preventing them. Because if they commit haram because of you, you are the cause of it. They'll get haram sin for it as well. But you are the cause. And you will carry the burden as well. So how dare a mother or father prevent their child because he's not ready or she's not ready? Who said they're not ready? Who's the Razak? You? No, Allah is. He is a Razak. So it's a very, very sad, wallahi, I repeat, sad custom, whether in Malaysia or in the subcontinental or in Africa, that they have this custom. I know in Lebanon, they're wallahi 14, 15, 16, they immediately marry them off. Immediately. And they do not delay marriage. And this is why you rarely, I'm not saying boasting about Lebanon, a'udhu billah, I don't do things like this. But wallahi, you rarely hear of fornication in Lebanon. Because they know the dangers involved. And they fear this. Even though many of them are just ignorant, lay Joe Blow Muslims, they still have that instinct of protecting their children from this evil, ugly and horrendous sin. And the only way you can do this is to assist and not prevent. Don't prevent your daughter when she says she wants to get married. She's saying something to you here. She's calling out, or him. Don't prevent her. It's haram. Wallahi, it's haram. No matter what age she may be, as long as she attains maturity. You allow them to go on the internet or watch TV or go out with their friends and allow them to be confronted to this evil, but when they want to get married, no, you're still too young. You've opened the door to evil for them, but you don't assist them to prevent them from this evil. Is this not haram? Wallahi, it is. And this is why we are having so many premarital sex in our day, because of this restriction, the mother and the father. Another restriction is, now if she's not Malaysian, he's not Malaysian, I cannot marry him off to her. Subhanallah. This is arrogance.